What's up, guys? This is the Realasspodcast on air. This is a brand new thing that I actually just started doing. I had one before, but now we're back. We're rolling. And I have my special guest here today, a special guest. We grew up in high school together. She's basically, always supported me through a lot of things. Anything I was doing, this girl was right there. So allow me to introduce Elizabeth.
Hi, guys.
Woo! So let me tell you something, Elizabeth. So, you always supported me through a lot of things, like when it came to music, when it came to just like anything I did, you would always be there for me, right? So it's crazy how we're 25 and now you're here and I'm supporting you. So it's crazy how times kind of change, but also you're supporting me by being here as well. So the support never changed ever. So I really do appreciate her even being here. But tell them who you are, Elizabeth, what you do.
What do? I feel like Kim Kardashian when they ask her what she does for a living.
Get your ass up and work, okay?
Well, I mean, a lot of our friends, we have a lot of mutual friends, so I'm sure people know who I am. I'm Elizabeth. I grew up here in Phoenix.
Right.
I know a lot of people from the party scene. Not really the club scene because I wasn't around for that, but yeah, from the party scene. I just turned 25.
Woo!
And I'm currently working at a manufacturing warehouse, which is kind of funny because people would never expect me to be doing a man job like that.
No.
But I think that's the fun in it. I think that's why I enjoy my job because people wouldn't expect me to be doing something like that,
Yeah, I think, just taking care, letting a guy know, hey, I do your job. Don't try to play me. I do your job. I'll lift your bitch type of thing. You can have that leverage of saying I'm doing hard work, and that's good that, you are changing your story from where you were before and then to where you are now. And then just kind of looking forward of the positive aspect of life now, right? Because I feel like in our 20s, there's so much pressure of where we should be. Okay, we should get married. Okay, we should have kids. Okay, we should be owning a house right now. Why the hell is there a time limit on owning a house? First of all, y'all know how the marketplace is right now. To buy a house is you need to give your leg and a shoe.
And your eyeball.
Yeah, and your eyeball. So I just feel like the comparison in your 20s where you feel like you're behind in life, but really, you're not really behind. You're right where you need to be. And I feel like sometimes I even feel like, man, I should be owning a house right now, or I should be doing this. And then I look at how much the housing industry is. I'm like, maybe I should just hold up a little bit, because you got to put that down payment down. And then you got the interest rate going sky high. It's but I feel like comparing to where people are now and, where you are now, I feel like that happens a lot to you, doesn't it?
I mean, it happened a lot when I first got out of prison, to be honest. Okay, obviously I was on social media right away. My mom had a phone waiting for me when I got out. And of course I wanted to see what my friends were doing,
Yeah.
I hadn't been on social media for years, so I naturally logged on, And the first comparison I remember I made was my body to other women's bodies. A lot of people had work done and I came out of prison with more weight on me. I went into prison weighing 114 pounds, and I came out weighing about 140.
Damn.
So I was feeling like it's healthy weight. I'm
No.
Weight,
yeah.
I felt that I just felt insecure. And I was never one to be insecure ever. So that's the first comparison I caught myself making, and then the next one was oh my gosh, I have to go back to living with my mom. I had been living alone for so long.
Me too.
And it was I don't have my own place anymore. I don't have things of my own anymore, just having to start over. And I did catch myself comparing myself a lot to other people, and it was honestly a bad feeling, so I started looking into changing myself, but I was no, I can't make that mistake because I really wouldn't be even doing it for myself. I'd be doing it because
of other people.
Yeah, so it's not for me. So it was honestly hard. And then it came to needing a vehicle, that was the biggest one because I was relying on other people to take me places or spending money on Uber, and it was just I just was not having it. I was not having it at all. So finally I got the car, so now I just have to get my license because we don't drive dirty around here.
There's levels to this, right? So you mentioned, living with your parents, and I honestly agree. I was honestly on my own. I had a bunch of houses, and then, things happened when it came to my house, and now I live with my parents, and it's just like, how do I go from independence to being controlled? Because I'm an Aries and we ain't like that. So you control us, we ain't doing it. So just like, but also thinking about, okay, I should be owning my house right now, right? I should be doing this now, right? And there's so much pressure on us doing that and being where we're supposed to be. But the thing is, this is our journey, right? So how are we going to compare our journey to other people's journey? You know, maybe that person who bought the house was working on it for years. Maybe they worked on their credit score. You know what I'm saying? It's steps. And as long as you're making the steps to improve your life, which is, you mentioned that you got your car, right? What kind of car is it, by the way?
It's a 22 Malibu.
Oh my gosh, I got 2022.
Yeah,
Score 700.
I love it. No, it's no. My credit's kind of trash, to be honest, but I have a really great support system, which is why I was able to get it.
Wow.
So as long as I take care of what I'm supposed to be taking care of, there's people around me willing to help me, you know. And my mom has gone above and beyond, you know. So I got my savings together, and I wasn't expecting her to get me something brand new, you know.
Yeah, 2022.
I thought it was gonna be like just something to start off. I wanted something newer, but whenever I came home and that's what she got me, like I felt so blessed, you know. Like I wouldn't have been able to do it without her.
Yeah.
So she's like,
shout out to you, Mom, if you're watching this. I want to give a big shout out to you. You helped her through a lot, and you know she's really thankful for you.
Yeah, you know, like I wouldn't be able to do half the things I'm doing without my mom, because there's days where I don't want to go to work. You know, there's days where I'm like, why do I have to do this?
Right.
But it's part of adulting, you know. And my mom, like, I'll even text her. I'll be like, Mom, why do I have to go to work? And she's like, Liz, it was funny. She sent me a text. She was like, your Malibu, your makeup, your clothes. And I was just like, okay, Mom, you're right.
You're gonna sell the fries? Yeah. That's important. I just feel like, you know, this is how I see it, you know, as long as you're making the steps to be where you are, there should be no way to compare yourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, as for you made the steps to get a car, right? But it was baby steps because you had to save up money to get the car. So everything you do in life, I feel like, is steps. Anything you want to change in your life comes with you making that decision to change your life, right? Because you can try to, you know, change somebody, but it's not going to work unless they want to change. So you can waste your whole life saying, you need to do this, you need to do this. Don't tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? So some people have that, I would say, pride to not want to change at that moment because the ego, you know, I feel like the ego is the biggest killer because like your ego is telling you, you don't need to change, you're perfect. And then your other thing's like, oh, no, you need to change. So it's like, what are we going to listen to more, the ego or our inner self? And I think that's what kind of, you know, my next question brings me to my next question about what made you want to say, okay, this life is really short and I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, what do I do next? You know, how did you make that decision to change from where you were before? If you could shed a little bit of background of where you were before to how you got to now.
Honestly, it wasn't a choice that I made by myself. It was kind of like a choice. It's crazy. Getting arrested, you know, it's not something that I chose.
Yeah.
But it was honestly a huge blessing. And people trip out when I tell them I'm thankful that I went to prison. You know, prison honestly saved my life. I was able to get my GED. You know, I was able to get clean because I was doing cocaine almost every day. And I was drinking almost every day. You know, I was partying all the time. And I didn't see anything wrong with it because I had my own house. I was taking care of myself, you know. Like, to me, I was doing fine. To me, I deserved to be able to do those things, you know. There was a sense of entitlement. I'm entitled to party. I'm entitled to do what I want because all my shit's handled. But that's not it. You know, I was ruining my life little by little, just making these decisions, not caring for myself, not caring for the people around me. And there's a saying that says that there's nothing harder than loving an addict. And I didn't realize that until I got sober. And the people around me were still using. And I just want better for them. But if they don't want better for themselves, because a lot of people try to help me, you know, I didn't want it.
Why do you feel like at that time you were kind of rejecting it?
Because I was having a good time. To be honest, you know, I didn't really realize that, like, hey, I was on the run. You know, I was away from my family for 3.5 years, you know, went to prison for another 2. So I thought I was having a good time. But now that I'm home and I have my family with me, you know, I see like how valuable that really is. And my freedom, you know, I don't have to be looking behind my back. I'm not doing shady stuff. So I don't have to worry about getting arrested, you know.
You know what? That's actually a good, you know, how you said about your freedom. Because like the thing is, we don't realize the privileges we have until we no longer have those privileges. Like COVID, you know, we didn't realize how much COVID, you know, we're like, oh, whatever, it's just COVID. And then when we get COVID, we can't smell. We're like, we can't smell, you know, like we don't realize the privileges that's in front of us until we no longer have the privilege.
Yeah, girl, and it was like honestly like the smallest things that I was grateful for. I went a year without looking at the moon, you know, and one day they took me out to medical at night and I saw the moon and I just stopped walking. And I remember the CEO was like, Saenz, keep it pushing. I was like, just give me a second. You know, like I hadn't seen the moon in a year and I was just so thankful to be able to see the stars, the sky, you know, like it was crazy. So it's just like little things that I'm thankful for now. I really like when it rains. You know, I know some people are gonna think
Arizona too.
But it's like the little things, you know, or just like being able to turn my light on and off whenever I want to, you know, because over there you sleep with the lights on and it's crazy, you know. It's just small things that I take pleasure in now. So like I said, I don't know, I'm just grateful for the experience overall because it really humbled me. It humbled me a lot. It was needed.
I think whoever's listening to this can just take that. You can always change your story, but also be thankful for your past, because your past is what's going to make you what you are. Like what you said, you're thankful about going to prison. People are like, wait, what? Like you thankful to be in that spot. But what you're meaning to say is that I'm thankful from where I was before because it led me to the strong person I am today now.
Yeah, definitely. I learned a lot of things. I learned so many things. And most importantly, I learned a lot about myself. You know, a lot of core beliefs that I had changed a lot. You know, I also learned a lot about the people around me and who I really want to be around me. You know, boundaries are important. I used to not have boundaries before, you know, and now I can say, you know what, I'm not cool with this. I'd rather not. I was doing a lot of things for other people and now I'm just like, no, I don't want to.
So you were putting energy into these people, but when you needed those people and you needed somebody to be there for you, they weren't there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think,
I mean, no hard feelings about it. It is what it is, you know, but at least now I know where everybody stands in my life.
I feel that. I feel like boundaries are important because you set the tone for how you allow somebody to be in your life or treat you, or you set that tone. So when you're saying, I know boundaries now, like I know, hey, you know, we're my friend, but let's just keep it at that. Like, you know, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, being able to cut like toxic people off, you know, if we're not meeting mentally, if you like, I don't judge anybody, but like, let's say if you still want to be doing things that I was doing a few years back, that's fine, but that's not where I'm personally at. And it's hard because a lot of people expected me to come home and be the same person I used to be. And I've changed a lot, you know, my mentality has changed so much. So people are kind of taken back whenever I set these boundaries or whenever I'm not willing to do things that I used to do before, you know, and it's honestly, I mean, a lot of people draw back, but it's fine, you know, because I'm at a point in my life where I'm putting myself first.
I agree. But you get to a point of that when you go through hard times of that, you know, when you go through trials and tribulations is when you realize I need to start putting myself first. Like, fuck everybody else, right? Not saying fuck anybody else, but like not
canceled her first podcast.
No, but fuck, you know, fuck putting yourself last, because putting yourself last ended up making you treat yourself last, beat yourself last, and abuse yourself last. So putting yourself first and saying that right now is honestly what everybody should do. Put yourself first. It's not about what people want for you. It's not about what people are encouraging you to do. It's about you and what you want in your life. And I feel like in life, we get so torn between friends who want us to, I don't know, do drugs or go drinking, or, you know, they want us to, I don't know, oh, you should get pregnant or something, you know, and you're just like, wait a second, I haven't went to Japan yet. Let me catch these flights before I catch them nights of crying, you know? Yeah. So I think it's just more about, I feel like what you're trying to say is that you've been through so much shit in your life that you just want to be able to put yourself first. And now here you are right now, you're working, you got a 2022 Malibu, pull up on your exes and flexes, you know?
No exes.
She doesn't have none of those. I'm just kidding. No, but I just feel like she's more focusing on the positive aspect. But what can you say, you know, would you say accountability was the first step to make you change?
Honestly, yeah, because I didn't see any wrong in my actions for like the longest time. You know, I was like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, I was just like on a fuck it attitude. There's this like thing that somebody in prison said one time. She was like, I have a case of the fuck it's. And I was like, oh, I went through that too. But yeah, you know, like I think when I finally realized like, okay, I'm fucking up. you know, like, or that, okay, I really fucked up this time, you know, was when it was like easier for me. And I still sometimes struggle with accountability, but I see growth in myself every day. So
because sometimes it's hard. It's hard to admit we're wrong. But the thing is, I always tell my dad this because growing up, I had like my dad has a sign and he still has it there and it pisses me off and I want to spray paint it with black, but I get kicked out. But it says, rule number 1, I'm always right. And rule number 2, look at number 1. And I'm like, Dad, I was like, wouldn't you want to be wrong sometimes? Because if you don't know what you're doing wrong, how can you fix it to make it right? Right? So how can anybody do that? If you're going through life thinking, oh, I'm doing the right thing and I'm always right, you know, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy?
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, but because I used to walk around with that mentality, like, nobody can tell me wrong. I know what I'm doing, you know? So I think that when you open yourself up and you're willing to hear that feedback and that, like, constructive criticism, like, is when you're really starting to grow and learn about not only yourself, but just about life in general, you know? Yeah. Because if you tell me there's one way to tie your shoes and I'm like, well, I've been tying my shoes this way my whole life, but you're like, this way's easier, and I'm not willing to listen, I'm just gonna, you know, like, why? It makes no sense. It's no logic. Why am I not gonna do an easier way that you're showing me just because I want to be in the right? Like, no, you're wrong. I've been doing it like this my whole life. That makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And that's because if you're not willing to take constructive criticism, that's why they always ask you that in a job. You know, they always ask you, how do you handle constructive criticism? Because they want to know, is you going to cuss me out? Is you going to throw the computer screen? Is you going to, you know, how are you going to react if we tell you something negative? And if you can't take that, that shows that you're not willing to learn and grow, because everything you do, whether you're at your first job and you make a mistake, right? You got to own up to you making that mistake, or something goes wrong and it's your fault. They're going to blame everybody else. And you're just going to be like, you know, but you won't learn how to fix that mistake so that way you don't do it again at your next job. I agree with what you said. You made a good point where you're like, if you can admit the shit you do, you won't be able to grow. You play that mindset all your life. Oh, I'm always right. But then you're never going to be able to know the real you. You can go through life all the time thinking you're always right. Oh, I'm always right. I'm living my best life. Don't tell me what to do. But sometimes we need to be told what to do, because these older folks who guide us, they know what they're talking about sometimes. But because sometimes they tell us some stuff and we're just like, like, let me live my life, you know. But I just feel like you kind of saying, you know, you learned and you grew just by taking accountability is the first step to changing your story, right? So when you were in that point in your life, when you were in prison, basically, what made you be like, okay, now I know what I did wrong. What do I do next? What pushed you?
I can't really like pinpoint. Okay, no, I'm lying. Yeah, I think when I got sentenced, you know, because like for the longest time I thought that I was gonna get more time than I did, and then I was blessed, you know? So I was like, wow, okay, they ended up not giving me extra time for going on the run. Bro. So like that in itself was like, oh my gosh, I'm just continuously being blessed, you know? So it was like, am I gonna keep throwing my life away or what? So whenever they gave me 4 years instead of 6, I was like, okay, yeah, you know, like that's 4 years. I'm still gonna come out young, you know. I was 22 when I went in, so I was like, okay, I'll be 26, everything's gonna be fine, you know. So it was kind of like, okay, I've got this chance. Am I going to take it? Or like, what am I going to do?
It's when we no longer have those opportunities, I feel like, and we get a second chance and you're like, okay, look, God, you're giving me this chance. Let me do this right? And I feel like it kind of reminds you of a movie, kind of, right? Because, you know, like in movies, there's always like something that happens in a dream wise, right? And then they wake up and they're like, wait a second, I have a second chance. I could change my life. Y'all see that movie 13 Going on 30? It's an old movie. Oh. But if y'all watched it, 13 Going on 30 is a really, really good, because she's listening to everybody else. She's completely neglecting people who are there for her. She's going through life, you know, treating people like shit pretty much. And then she finds out that when she did that, everybody ended up shitting on her. So then, but she was like praying to be 30 pretty much. She was praying to be 30, but when she was 30 and she followed the popular crew and she did all that, it's like everything backfired on her. So then she got to see what it was like. Who was really there for her were the people, like her best friend. And then she finally got the chance to do her life over again. So it's like, if you have the chance to make it right, don't fuck it up. Like, don't even if it's with like anything in life. Like, if I have a chance to make it right with somebody, don't fuck it up. Because it's like, you never know when you're going to get that chance again, you know? But then we learn from our fuck ups. So we fucked it up, okay, but we're going to fix it and we're going to grow and we're going to heal and we're going to look towards the future, which brings me to my next question. What are you looking forward to now? I mean, I know you said you couldn't even see the moon. You're stuck. You couldn't see the moon. I'm pretty sure now you got the whole telescope. But but what are you looking forward to now?
I don't know. Like, honestly, I haven't really thought too far out yet because I've only been out 4 months, you know, and so far I've been reaching all my goals. Honestly, I think looking into a career is next, but I don't know. I want to find something that I'm really passionate about. I don't want to do something just because it makes a lot of money or because whatever, you know, like I want to find something that I'm good at, that I enjoy doing, and you know, if I can make money from it on the way, then that's what's up, you know. But I haven't really thought too far into the future, sorry. And I think it's important that I do so, because if not, then I'm going in no direction again.
Yeah,
you know, direction is important. I think I need that structure still. I don't know if I want to get into beauty or what it is I want to do, but I think continue to reach my goals, which I've been doing since I got out. You know, I've only been out 4 months, and I'm like really proud of everything that I've been doing.
What do you feel like? You know, I know you say you're reaching a lot of goals, which everybody sees it. We see your car, and everybody like, hey, pick me up, boo, like, come see me. And then you're just like, who are you? Mm-hmm. You weren't fucking with me on the projects. Now you want to fuck with me when I'm up. You weren't there when I was down. You were there when I was up. But I feel like, you know, what goals do you feel like as soon as you got out? What goals do you feel like you really hit that you want to like take credibility for?
I think staying sober, you know, I think that's a big one. You
know? How many years are you sober now?
3 years.
She is sober for 3 years, guys. Like, shit. She's clean. Use her pee. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, don't do that. We got you laughing in the background. But that's what I'm saying. Like, she's changing her life for the better. So she was sober for, 3 years, right? What else did you do?
I mean, I got a job right away. Well, no, not right away. I got a job like a month after I got out. But like the job that I got is hard labor, you know? So I kind of surprised myself with that one. Honestly, I got the job because it paid good. But then I started doing it and I realized that I was good at it, you know? So I was like, well, that's kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then I started saving money. I was like really surprised at myself for saving money, and like I was able to help my mom out.
Wow.
I was just really proud of myself because I was making the people around me proud, you know, because I think a lot of people thought I was going to get out and go back to what I was doing, you know, like go back to partying or just like doing the most, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure I'll eventually go out, but it's definitely like with moderation now.
Yeah.
And then the car was like the biggest one.
Yeah.
You know, the car was definitely the biggest one so far. Next, I don't know if I want to get my own place because I like being at my mom. She spoils me.
She likes, first of all, that being at your own place does have its flaws too. We got the rent. Don't get me started on the damn rent. And then we got, of course, the water. You got to pay to take a shower, right? And then you miss your mom's cooking. You miss somebody cooking the meals, and instead of you going to McDonald's every day, you know, like we take those things for granted because when we're younger, we're like, oh, you're 18, like I just want to get out of here so bad. And then when you're out of there, you're like, I want to come back here real quick. Like, come make me your homemade menudo, please. And I think like what you said, you know, I saw on one of your posts, she goes, I have not stopped looking at my car because I cannot believe that I have a car. And then you look at yourself and you're like, why am I comparing myself? I got a job. I got a car. What am I doing wrong? I'm not in jail. I'm actually looking at the moon, the stars. I'm looking at keeping up with the Kardashians. So, I mean, I don't think you should even, this goes for everybody. Like, you shouldn't compare yourself to where your friends are, where you are, because this is God's timing, you know? And I feel like our journey is separate from other people's journey. Like, yeah, I want to get married. Okay, but you got to love yourself first. How you going to love somebody if you don't even love yourself? Oh, yeah, I want to get pregnant. But can you take care of yourself? Because how the hell are you going to take care of the kid? Is Johnny going to be okay? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like, there's steps to get to where you are. And I feel like sometimes in life we go through these little steps of like, oh, I want to do this. But first, you got to go through this to get to where you want to be. I want to find happiness. Well, you got to find what's making you not happy. Because how are you going to find happiness when you don't even know what's making you not happy?
Yeah.
You got to go through the times of life where you're like, fuck, like I hate my life in order to get my, damn, I love my life now. I was, you got to remember your low moments, because your low moments, which what you stated, is what made you what you are. Like now you're in the gym. First of all, she going to the gym now. What do you feel like pushed you to go to the gym? I know it's a hard decision.
Well, no, I was working out whenever I was locked up, and then I kind of stopped when I got out, and I was eating like a lot of junk food, and I wasn't like content with my body was, and I was like talking to my mom about getting work done and stuff, and she was like, Liz, just go to the gym, and I was like, I was like,
we all be like that though. Don't we all say that? We'll be like, the gym, effort.
So
energy.
I asked her, I was like, hey, well, would you go with me? Because I was kind of anxious about like going by myself.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, I'll go with me. So she started going with me, and then my best friend started going with me. So it just like, it started becoming habitual, and I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good for your mindset, right? Because like I think it's just the thought of like, if y'all watching this right now, energy, time, no TikToks. and then you kind of go into the gym and you're like, but everybody's looking at me, and then you look around and they ain't looking at your ass, they just looking at the damn machine in front of them.
They're looking at me because my ankle monitor.
Oh, they're looking at her.
Definitely looking
we
at
can
me.
get the camera on that. But they're looking at her ankle. They're like, she said they're looking at my. She said looking at my ankle monitor.
Yeah, they're definitely looking at me, but you kind of just got to push through that, because what am I there for? Am I there to like trip out about what people are thinking about me and my big ass ankle monitor, or am I there to work on myself?
See, y'all think they looking at you, but they're looking at somebody who has an ankle monitor because they're like, is she good? Is she gonna do something?
Is she allowed to be here right now?
Did she just break out and she's just lifting the weights? But see, like, that's what I'm saying. Social anxiety, right? That comes into play because you're in the gym and you're like, they're staring at me. But how do you push through those thoughts of like when you feel like they're looking at my ankle monitor, aren't they? Those bitches.
I mean, I've gotten used to it a lot more. Like at first, whenever I first went on home detention, I didn't even leave the house because I was like, dang. But then I was like, whatever, it's part of my story, it's part of my journey, it'll be over with soon.
Yeah, it is part of your journey, and she's almost off the ankle monitor. When is she almost off?
December 19th.
Woo! So Christmas, Merry Christmas, take out your damn thing, let's go. She said, I'm gonna go Christmas shopping, Black Friday. Hit me up before the clubs on Black Friday. No, I'm just kidding. But basically, like, she's using this, as an opportunity to grow. So you're thankful for what you went through in the past. Because I know sometimes we go through like life and we're like, oh, all this shit happened to me. But sometimes you gotta look at through it like, I'm glad it did, because now I'm over here, your support system really helped you a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was your support system?
My mom, like pretty much my mom and my brothers. That's it, Like I had a few people reach out here and there, but like my mom's still helping me out. She helped me get that car. Wow. And my brother too, he's been helping me out a lot whenever I need to go somewhere and stuff.
Your brother. Shout out to your brother and your mom, dude. Like if you're watching this, we're giving you a shout out. For being there for you when you needed it the most. And she's still ongoing there for you and kind of pushing you to be the best version of yourself. Would you agree?
Yeah, and even like both my brothers, my little youngest brother, he'll just like walk in on me randomly. He's like, I love you, or like, I'm so happy you're home. I can't believe you're home. And I'm just like, oh my God, kid, you're gonna make me cry.
Aww.
But yeah, like they have been there throughout the whole journey, and they're still here for me, and they believe in me, more importantly, like. And that makes me believe in myself. Like one time I told my mom, whenever I got my GED, I was like, yeah, like my teachers really believe in me. She was like, okay, Liz, but you need to believe in yourself. And that's when I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
You're so right.
Wow. I think that's so true, that you really do need to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how the hell are you going to get to where you want to be? Because I feel like there's going to be people in life telling you, you can't do that. You can't reach that. But you got to be able to be like, watch me. Like, you got to have that mentality, because everybody in your life is going to try to tear you down, knock you down. They're going to try to get you so damn down because they don't want to see you come up. And there's people you thought you were friends are preying on your downfall. Yeah. People who you thought were your friends ended up being your enemies.
Yeah. Another thing that's important too is like just doing things for yourself, because if you're doing things for your significant other, or you're doing things for your family, or you're doing things for other people, whenever that person is no longer in your life, like who are you doing it for then? You know, like,
Woo!
it's crazy. I know there's a lot of times that I've done things for my friends or done things for a significant other, and then we break up or we fall off, and then like I am so crushed and devastated that I was using them as my motivation, and now I don't have them, so there goes my motivation. So just really, it's important to make yourself your own motivation. You know, I'm doing this for me, because I love myself, and because I deserve it, more importantly.
Yeah, like you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to have that happiness, and you deserve to feel free. Because now you're free. So I want to ask, this is going to be kind of funny a little bit, but what was the first meal you ate after prison? Like, she hit up Humberto's.
No, it wasn't even that exciting because, okay, it was so crazy. Let me tell you. So my mom got me a direct flight. Like, it was supposed to be a 3-hour flight so I could just come straight home, you know. The feds did not want to pay for my flight home. They wanted me to ride a bus. So my mom was like, I'm not having it. Actually, my mother-in-law paid. My mother-in-law, what the hell? My godmother, my madrina helped my mom out. I was like, I'll put half, you put the other half. And my madrina was like, I got this.
Oh, madrina. Shout out to you, madrina.
So, it ended up being a really crazy flight. There was a monsoon that day, so we couldn't land into Sky Harbor. We were circling Sky Harbor for almost 2 hours, and the plane ran out of fuel. So,
my anxiety went,
yeah, girl, imagine me. I had to be at the halfway house at a certain time. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get violated. I'm going back to prison. Like, I was just like, oh my God. So the captain comes on the speaker and he's like, we have to go to Vegas to fill up the plane again. And I was just like, Vegas? Like, I'm supposed to be in Arizona right now? You're taking me to a whole other state? That's like a million violations in one.
She said, we're going to Vegas. She's like, wait, hold on, though. We're going to Vegas.
Like, what? So I asked the stewardess, I was like, hey, so like, what time are we going to be in Arizona? Do you have a phone? Like, what's up? You know? And she's like, honestly, I have no idea. There's no phones on here. And I was just like, oh God. So we get to Vegas. I finally call my mom. I finally call the halfway house of prison. I let everybody know what's going on. They're like, you're fine. Just let us know once you land in Arizona. So I was like, okay, cool. So I told my mom, like, hey, can you just get me something there at the airport because I'm so hungry. So there was no food. All the food is like passing TSA. So she's like, there's nothing here. So I was like, oh my God, okay. So mind you, at this point, I had been traveling for 6 hours.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So
damn.
We're there. They're saying that the airport's still closed and that the storm hasn't passed. So I'm just like, oh my God, that airline that I went with didn't sell food on the plane. So I was just like, oh my God, it was horrible. So anyways, finally we land in Arizona and I'm just like, oh, thank God. So I called the halfway house and I'm like, hey, I'm here, but do you guys mind if I like go get some food because I'm honestly starving? And the dude was like, you get here late and you still want me to let you go get food? And I was like, please, or are you guys gonna feed me? What's up? And he was like, you got 30 minutes, go get something to eat. So I was like, Mom, what do we do? So my brother right away, he loves Chick-fil-A. He was like, we're gonna go get some Chick-fil-A.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, so we went and got some Chick-fil-A, and girl, I don't even remember what it tasted like because I was hungry. Shit! I just like scarfed it down.
She's like, how did that chicken feel in my mouth?
I don't even remember because I was just like, I inhaled it. I was so hungry. I was so freaking hungry.
So she's like, I haven't ate like this in a minute. So you know what? Let me just scarf it down real quick. Yeah. Honestly, like that's the thing though. Like you were just trying to. So I mean, you went from but that's the thing. You went from eating whatever in prison. What did you eat in there?
Honestly, the food in prison wasn't that bad because I was in the feds, so the food was not horrible.
Really?
Shout out to the feds for feeding us good.
Yeah. See, she went from. But that's just like how it could be. You can go from the lowest to the top. You were doing Fed food, now you're doing Chick-fil-A. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You're doing Fed food, now you're going to eat some noodle on Sundays. Like, it's just like the things that sometimes we take for granted and then we no longer have it makes us appreciate it more. Like she mentioned her brother even coming in saying, I love you. And you're like, before he's been like, oh, you're so fucking annoying. But now you're like.
I mean, even sometimes now I'm like.
But that's just typical. But now you're just like. I actually love you too, you know. You're not that bad. Yeah, you ain't that bad. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, you know, changing your story comes a lot with accountability, right? You took accountability. You were like, because you could have easily went back to the same pattern. Like, anybody could make the same fucking thing and be like, all right, I'm back, going back again. But now you're like, I'm back. And I want to move forward with my life. I'm back. So if you want to take, if anybody wants to know about changing your story, you can, because it's all about making the decision to change. And then it's all about being accountable for what you do. going through life with so much pride in yourself will only hurt you in the end, because you're always going to have that childlike mindset. Oh, I'm always doing right. No, the hell you're not. Sometimes you need your mama to tell you doing wrong, or sometimes you need that one friend to say, hey, you got shit in your teeth. You know, like if you're a friend, you better let that friend know something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we don't want to hear it from our friends because we feel bad, but sometimes maybe our friends are right and we don't even realize they're right until we're in that spot. So it's like accountability and just taking ownership for the shit that you do. You got to be sick of yourself in order to change. You really got to be sick of yourself. Like, I mean, did you say you got sick of yourself at one point? You're just like, I'm sick of what I'm doing to myself.
Yeah, because I just didn't see any growth, like
Yeah.
I was just in the same spot for like the longest time. So I think it's important to, like, if you do decide to do something different in your life, don't get comfortable, because once you're like, okay, I already made these changes, I'm good. No, like, growth is a constant thing,
Wow.
So it's important to not get comfortable and to just be willing. Like, it's an everyday thing for me,
That's how you know you're growing, is because self-love and self-care is not just, oh, I brushed my teeth, I did good today. It's more about what's next in my life? How am I going to improve myself more? You can go through life competing with other people, but the competition should always be who you are in the mirror. Like, look at yourself. How are you going to be the best version of yourself? Because honestly, that's what matters in life, right? If you're still the same person and no growth, you're still the same. And then that person grows and you're behind and you're like, fuck, you need to get it together. And, but you see your past self, like you mentioned, you see people like that and you're like, man, that used to be me, but look at me now. And now I'm grown. Now you outgrew those people, and the thing is, people don't realize it, but you really are who you surround yourself with. I mean, I'm sure whoever's watching this can agree. You hang out with the wrong people, you're going to do the wrong things. You hang out with people who have goals, who are action oriented, who know what they want in life and they're driven. You're going to want to do that yourself. Would you agree?
Yeah. I had this girl go to my house and whiten my teeth the other day. Shout out to Breezy's Clinic. Anyways.
Breezy's Clinic.
And she said something. She said, I like to surround myself with people that are doing better than me. And I was like, okay, because people always say to surround yourself with people that have goals and stuff, but when she said, I want to surround myself with people that are doing better than me, that's true, because it's setting the bar higher.
True.
So I don't know, that really stuck with me. I really enjoyed when she said that. It like got me thinking.
Breezy's Clinic. So you obviously, what does she exactly do so people can know about it?
She does teeth whitening and she puts gems in your teeth. If you guys are interested, I absolutely loved her. Her vibe was great.
Let me see your grill.
And I'm gonna see her again.
Hey.
Yeah, she was like I said, she said these things that got me thinking, and I enjoy that in a person when I can have an actual conversation with them.
Yes, a deep one.
It's not just like surfacey shit. I enjoy being able to have a real conversation with somebody and not just like, did you see what so and so posted?
I hate that.
Like, I like real life conversations. So
yeah.
I honestly enjoyed her vibe.
Yeah, see, so and I feel like at the same time you kind of grown to learn that, like, people are always going to be negative about somebody. People are always going to try to make you be negative with them. And I feel like it's almost like it's like we want to be with people who are doing, better than us. But some people don't want us to do better than them.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, how are you going to be my friend and you don't want me to succeed? Are you my friend or are you my enemy?
I think it's important to be very woke to those type of people too, because I think a lot of times as humans, we do see those red flags, but we choose to overlook them. So I think it's important, that's where boundaries come in too. So like if I start feeling that the vibe's a little bit off, or I start to feel that somebody's love towards me isn't genuine, I just kill it right then and there, because why am I going to put in a situation where I'm questioning your intentions towards me? That's me putting myself in a situation as well, and that makes no sense. So I think that being able to detach from toxic relationships is important too, so because there's a lot of people too that I like, a lot of female friends that I've had before that don't want good for me, and right now I have a really good friend. She goes out of her way to come see me on house arrest, or she goes out of her way to bring me food that I like, and it's genuine love, not just because she gets me things or whatever, but because she's taking her time and investing it into our friendship. So like I think it's important to stay woke to people that only want to use you, to people that only want something from you, and that don't care about your well-being. They just want you for a good time. They just want you for the weekend. If there's somebody that only hits you up on weekends, what do they want from you, really?
Yeah, they don't want to take you out for ice cream, and maybe they might, but they want to do something else with your cream. So, so I think it's like, she's right. How do you, but sometimes though, a lot of people like to see those red flags as green flags. Like, hey, red means green. And I feel like that's what, like you said, you're going to put yourself in a spot like you don't want to be at, because you're going to, get hurt, or you're going to fall into some bad intentions, or you're going to get in the wrong crowd. And it's kind of hard to like, get back up from that, I feel like, because then those red flags come out and you're like, why did I ignore those damn red flags? They were right in front of my face.
So I was in an abusive relationship whenever I lived in Mexico, and somebody told me something that stuck with me, and they were like, you know what? Nobody looks worse than somebody that complains about a situation and does nothing about it. So I was like, oh shit, you're right.
So when you thought about that, yeah, I agree, because like everybody's complaining about their life, saying, oh, I don't like my life. Okay, what are you doing to change your life? Are you just going to say, I don't like my life as an affirmation 35 times? Or are you going to do something about your life? Oh, I don't like my weight. Are you going to go to the gym? I don't like being skinny. Are you going to eat the right food? Oh, I don't like where I am. Are you going to leave? I think it's just like, if you're not happy with your life, okay, that's fine and dandy, because we all don't get happy with our lives. Sometimes we don't have happy with our lives when we don't get the right order. I hate my fucking life. They forgot my cheese. But if you're not happy with your life and you're not doing shit about it, you're just sitting on your ass. How the hell do you expect your life to change? You're just sitting there as a statue, like, oh, I don't like my life. I hate my life. But you don't realize that the power is always in you to change your life. And until you realize that power is when you're like, okay, I don't like my life. Okay. But you know what? You run the movie of your life. This is you're the creator of your universe. You're the creator of your movie, and you're the one that's telling everything that's happening. So it's like, until you realize, okay, I don't like my life. Okay. Are you going to sit on your fucking ass and not like your life and stay where you are and stay in the same place? Are you going to get up and work? And I'm just going to, I Kim Kardashian, like, get up and work, bitch. But are you going to get up and change it? Oh, I hate being fat. Are you going to sign up for the subscription of $10 a month?
Save that money for a BBL. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But I think that until people, it took for me to realize that I really did, it's something so logical. And that's like so crazy about I call it my adulting journey, because all of these things, it's just simple logic, but until you're ready to see it, until you're ready to actually do something, until you're ready to take control, you're not going to. Yeah.
You have to be at the lowest point of your life to want to change.
And it sucks that it has to be like that, but I went through that too. But I catch myself sometimes trying to help other people, or like tell them my experiences so they don't have to go through them. But that's just the way some people learn. Some people have to go through bad things in order to grow. And I was one of those people, but now I don't want to have to go through bad shit in order to learn, like if I see that so-and-so went through this, okay, well, I don't want to go through that. So what am I going to do to not go through that,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense what you said, because at the same time, we're trying to guide these people, but they think we're trying to control them. And they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they get in that spot and they're like, all right, you right. Come pick me up. He hit me. You know what I'm saying? But she made a good point. It's until that person's ready to realize the shit that they're doing is when they start to change. Mm-hmm. And that's when you have to realize, damn, like, I'm trying to help you, bro, but if you don't want my help, I ain't gonna fucking help you. You cannot help those who don't want to be helped. You just can't. Like, you can go through all your life thinking, oh, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna do this for you. And if they don't want it, and then what? Like, you just wasted your fucking time.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, because now I see like everything that everybody else struggled with when it came to me, because I had a lot of people try to help me and I just didn't want it, So now now that I'm on the other side of the coin, it really puts a lot of things into perspective, So it's crazy.
Do you feel like a lot of regrets coming to mind when you try to remember those people saying, hey, don't do this? No.
At first, yeah, but now, no, because like every bad decision that I made, every experience that I went through molded me into the person I am. Like, I remember, oh my God, like, it's something so stupid. I remember one time I told, so my mom was in an abusive relationship as well with my dad. And I remember one day we were at McDonald's. We had left the house because my parents were fighting. And I told her, I was like, Mom, I don't know why you're so stupid and you stay with him. I remember those words so clearly. I was like, why do you stay with him? And then I went through my own abusive relationship.
Shit.
I went through my own abusive relationship. And I remember that, like, after I got out of it, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, there's something I remember so clearly, and like I owe you an apology because I went through the same thing you went through. So now I just really want to focus on breaking those chains, you know, because it was a pattern. My mom went through it, her mom went through it, and then I went through it. So what am I gonna do to make sure that things are different this time, you know? And that's like a big experience that sticks with me, you know. So I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say no, I have no regrets. Of course there's regrets, you know, but it's up to me to change the perspective on those regrets. Okay, but what did I learn from that? You know, what did I have to gain out of that experience? Because if there's a lesson to be learned, it's never a loss.
Yeah, and if you learn that lesson and you do good with your life, it's never a loss, it's a gain. So I think that's how you could take it as I gained a lot of perspective. I gained a lot of weight in a good way, not the other way. But you know, we're basically not body shaming here, but you know what I'm saying? It's more of like I learned from that. I grown from that. And yeah, like we can have regrets all we want, but what are you doing to change the regrets that you have? Are you going to repeat the same or are you going to change? And I think like somebody who's listening to this who has a lot of regrets of their life of, oh, I regret doing this or I regret it so much. But what are you doing to change that regret? Or what did you learn from it? Did you just, you know?
I think it's important to not dwell on the past either. You know, like while it's important to learn from it, it's important not to dwell on the past because you can't change the past. You can't go back and change what you've already done. You know, you can't go back and not be with that ex that used to hit you. You can't go back and not try drugs for the first time. You know, you can't go back and finish high school. I got my GED, but still, it's not the same thing.
You can't go back for that part.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, not the same.
No,
it's not.
It's the first graduated and I wasn't, you know? So, like, those are all things that I can't change. And I used to dwell on the past so bad, you know, until I was like, what am I doing? I'm only hurting myself.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, dwelling on the past and, like, crying over spilled milk when it's already spilled and... You know, but it's just more about learning from it and growing from it, which is what you're doing now. You're working, you're taking care of yourself. You're already going to be off parole. So it's like, you're already at the pace that you are. And I feel like sometimes we pressure ourselves. I'm a person that I don't know about anybody else watching this either, but I like to pressure myself. I'm like, you should be doing this with your life. And sometimes I catch myself, I'm like, wait, girl, back the, slow your roll because there's baby steps to get to a better life, right? So obviously you got to get money, so you got a job and that job's providing more for you, and then you know what I'm saying, like it's always baby steps to change your life. And it's like we can't always pressure ourselves because we got to be patient with ourselves. Like I don't know, I feel like sometimes, I don't know if you're one of me or you ever think this, but you're like, oh, I should be doing this, or what am I like, I need to be like, you know, I need to be more talkative, or I need to do more of this, you know? And it's like we keep pressuring ourselves and putting so much weight on ourselves, but we need to be more patient with ourselves and say, I'm doing the best I can. I am doing the best I can. And your best is enough. Like, obviously, it's okay to want more for yourself, but hold your horses. Like, you know, I feel like we're humans. We want things fast. We go to the gym. We're not seeing results. I quit. Hell no, I ain't going back no more. Let me cancel my membership. And you just went there for a week. Just like seeing results as working out, which you would agree, you work out, right? But you know, you're not going to see muscle like, oh shit, I look fucking good, taking your little flicks in the pictures and shit, and you don't see results. Okay, well, I quit. But if you didn't keep going, you wouldn't see the results that you wanted. And I feel like in order to see results, you have to, like you said, but I'm a person, I'm whoever's watching this, I struggle with consistency. So if I don't see the results right then and there, I'm sure a lot of people can relate about this one. If I don't see the results, I'm like, I quit. I'm done. But I feel like, how do I know, you know, how can you be anything if you just quit easily when the going gets tough, when you're not seeing the results in your body? You know, when somebody's trying to lose weight and they don't see the weight, they're like, oh shit, I should just stop. I'm not even seeing anything. But if they kept going, they would have seen that they lost 10 pounds in the first month, right? But it's all about keeping going, just like in life, keeping going. Because if you quit, you'll never know how far you would have made it.
I think it keeps going back to accountability. Like you said, I got to keep myself accountable. I got to keep myself motivated, you know, because if I'm relying on the numbers on the scale to stay motivated to go to the gym, that's weak, you know. I got to motivate myself. Why am I doing this? Remind myself constantly, you know. Something that I learned in prison was instant gratification. You know, a lot of us are in search of instant gratification. We want that good feeling there and there.
Right then and there.
How long does that feeling usually last? Yeah, I lost 10 pounds, but, you know, it's not my goal weight. So, you know, yeah, you feel good for like a couple minutes, and then it's like, well, now I want more and more, you know? So I think self-talk is important, you know?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
just like thinking to the future is important, because if I'm just like wanting everything then and there, there's that's not genuine satisfaction, you know, because I didn't really work for it.
Yeah, and then when you finally see the results of when you did lose weight, or let's say somebody's watching this is going to the gym and not seeing results now, you're right. You would feel more better when you're like, damn, I need to keep going. My booty getting
With
fatter.
school, with work, with anything, you know,
Yeah.
like people that graduate from college, it's with anything in life, really, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm still fresh out, so I just hope that I'm able to stay motivated. I'm able to like continue to do these things, you know. It's an everyday thing, so it's really a commitment. You have to commit to yourself and to your goals, and you have to commit to what it is you really want in life, because it's not going to fall from the sky.
Yeah, you're right. And I feel like, what do you feel like when you go to the gym? What keeps you consistent, if you want to tell the people?
Honestly, I don't know. It just makes me feel good mentally. I just feel like this rush, and it's not so much. At first, I did go because I wanted to see a difference in my body, but then I started feeling really good going to the gym. I started having more energy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a chance to bond with my friend. It was a chance to bond with my mom too, you know, and chance to get out of the house.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're stuck in the house, can't do anything,
Yeah.
and then, but then we take that for granted because here you are stuck, and we're just not even stuck. We just want to be stuck. We're watching Netflix and we're watching you. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more of a choice, right? And you mentioned, I could really like learn from that the perspective of yours, where you're like instant gratification. Because if I just got it right then and there, I'm like, all right, this is too easy, shit, But we don't want it if it's too easy. We want it when it's hard. Like example, the guy who is a challenge, you want that guy as a challenge, other than the guy who's in your DM saying, I want to take you out. What's your social security number? Here's my social security number. Here's my, I'll send you $500. You want the guy that's a challenge. Low key. We don't want the guy that's like, oh, and I'm sure y'all ladies can agree with this one. I love you so much. Why haven't you responded? Why not? Well, maybe because you ain't a challenge. And we all love a challenge. Like, we love a challenge. I mean, if you are easy to get, you're easy to forget. If you're just there, we're going to forget about you. Like, I agree. Like, life is like, I like a challenge. I feel like challenges really do help you grow. And I feel like it makes you work hard for it. And obviously, you ever have that guy that's in your DMs and you finally respond to him and then he's all working hard to get your attention. And then you're just like, he wants you even more because you're a challenge. But then as soon as you give him more of your attention, he's like, all right, I'm done. Like, I ain't giving you my attention no more. The guys only want it because you're a challenge at the time. But then when you give them too much energy or you're pouring more into them more than yourself, they're like, I am bored now. Like, that's how even women are too. Like, the women are the same way. You're like, I liked you when you were playing a little bit hard to get, but now that you're just right there. Jose?
We want what we can't have.
We do. We want what we can't have because it's more attractive. You're like,
But the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So I think that it's important to remember that too.
Yeah, I agree. When you say the grass isn't greener on the other side, what do you feel like makes somebody think that the grass is greener on the other side? Like there's better out there. Oh, I'm going to get better.
I can't think of like a good example right now. Okay, or I don't know. Okay, yeah, I used to see people making all this fast money,
Yeah.
Making all this fast money, just, not working, just selling drugs, whatever, know, and I was like, I want that, I didn't want to be the plug's girlfriend. I wanted to be the one with the money,
Oh.
So I thought the grass was going to be green. I thought it was going to be easy, and I ended up with a prison sentence. So no, it's not always green.
It's not green. The thing is, though, people don't realize that. They think the grass is green on the other side, but it's green where you water it, where you take care of it. Take care of your damn grass and it's going to be green. Don't take care of your grass. It's going to look, you're going to get a citation. You know what I'm saying? I agree with that. You said the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Because sometimes we want more, we want better. Like, oh, I got this, but man, let me see what's up with this. And then you go into that and you're like, all right, let me just call her back. Like, and then by the time, but that's the thing though. We always want to, think that there's always better, which is okay. That's okay. But it's like, if you already had if you would have took care of your grass wouldn't have died, right? Your grass you wouldn't have to pay for that citation at your house. So it's like, I feel like what you said is true. We want more, but then we lose on what's in front of us. And then that's what makes us realize, shit, Like, now I'm fucked. Now I don't have that. I don't know. Now I don't have that person anymore, or now that I don't have that moon anymore. Like, you didn't realize the moon. I'm pretty sure when you were out before, you didn't fucking look at the moon.
I love looking at the moon. I look like at the moon every night. My mom was always telling me, "Did you see the moon tonight?" But yeah, it's things that we take for granted. I think gratitude is important with anything.
Yeah.
Being grateful for your job, you know, even if you hate going into work, you don't want to go to work. Okay, at least I have a job. At least I have a paycheck, you know. Or your significant other, you know, you're like, well, so-and-so's husband always gets her flowers, and I always see her post them on Instagram. Okay, but what if so-and-so's husband is always beating on her, and that's why he's getting her flowers? You know, you never know. So just be grateful for what you have in front of you. I think gratitude is important. And when I started being grateful for what I had instead of comparing or wanting something else, my life became so much better. You know, gratitude.
I
think gratitude is so important.
Appreciate what people do for you, because when you no longer have it, you're like, Mom, I used to complain about y'all burnt tortillas, but now I actually like your burnt tortillas. You know, it's just like, it's the little things that we need to be grateful for. Be grateful that you're alive because somebody's in the deathbed, or, you know, COVID probably taught us that too. Like, be grateful for what you have, because you never know when you're going to lose it. And I think when you lose it is when you learn to appreciate it even more. So here you are now doing a better start of your life, getting that to a second chance of your life. Like, obviously, you're like, I'm here for a reason. I got out for a reason. It's my turn to fix what I did wrong. I'm fixing what I did wrong. I'm not focusing on it. I'm not sitting there and I'm crying about it. I'm doing something right now. I'm going to the gym. My booty gonna get fat. Hit me up in December is what she's trying to say. Hey.
No, not December. Give me a little bit more time.
maybe New Year's. Maybe New Year's. Kwanzaa. Yeah. But she's trying to change her life. And I feel like that's a big step as a person. As a person who was locked up for so many years. I mean, I even tried to write in your mama. She didn't respond. And she just said, your mama responded and she said she wasn't here. I was like, okay. All right. I was like, but I didn't want to get into details. But I was like, where is Elizabeth? Because me and you know, we're always there for each other. Like, I feel like you always supported me, and I feel like I was always doing different things in my life. Like, I swear, if I wasn't doing this, I was doing this. If I wasn't doing this, I'm doing this. I'm very, like, energetic and active and a strong personality. I feel like I'm very driven, ambitious. I go for everything. I don't give a fuck what society tells me. Society can tell me to do this with my life, and I'll be like, fuck you, let me do this with my life. Because I feel like society puts so much standards on us, and I'm just like, you don't just always got to go home and go get a job. And, you know, people can be an influencer. You can do YouTube videos. You can do more with your life, have more passion with your life. You don't got to go home and be like, all right, now that I just got out of work, go to sleep. And that's it. That's depressing as shit. You want to have passion, follow your dreams, follow your passions. And, you know, you mentioned that you want to start a YouTube. What would your YouTube name be?
I don't know. I haven't really put too much thought into it. So I was thinking of like doing something prison related, but no, like I'm trying to leave prison.
She's trying to leave prison in the past.
Not in the past, because I think that once you forget the pain that you've been through, when you start blocking out the bad things in your life, it's easy for you to go back to doing that.
Right,
you know?
right.
So, no, I think I just want it to be like just a documentation of my life journey and adulting and just everything that I'm learning, you know? So I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
So keep on a lookout, guys, for her YouTube, because I feel like it's gonna come. Give her some time though. Let her learn from other ones, because I feel like it's important to look at others. Like, I'll look at other podcasts and be like, how can I be better than the other podcast? Or, you know, how can I, you know, improve my passion, my skills? How can I be better than myself? And like you said, it's all about accountability. First one is all about taking initiative on your life. Don't just complain about your life and sit there and say, oh, boo-hoo, I hate my life. Get up, do something with your life. And now you're doing something with your life. And I feel like everybody who's watching this can learn something from this and learn, yeah, you mess up in life, but that doesn't mean you can change your story. You're still living, you're still breathing until your pulse gives out is when you can't change your story. But right now, here you are, Elizabeth. You know, you came out of Facebook. Everybody's going to be watching this. Go ahead and say your social medias really quick, because I want everybody to follow you right now.
Mommy Vibes.
Mommy Vibes.
I'm sure you'll put it on there somewhere. Put it right here.
Mommy Vibes right here. Go ahead and make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, because what I'm telling you guys is that in this podcast, it's going to be different for other people's podcasts. We're talking about real ass shit. We're not going on the camera talking about, oh, I love my life and blah, blah, blah. You want to learn how to grow? you want to learn how to become something, you want to learn how to take accountability, follow this podcast. I hope that whoever's watching this can learn from Elizabeth's story. So thank you so much for even being with me right now. Like I told you guys, she came a long way, and hearing this story and hearing her life and just learning that you don't got to be stuck where you are. It's a choice. If you want to be stuck, okay, stay stuck. Or you can move, or you can keep going with your life, or you can keep prospering. And I think that's what Elizabeth doing right now. And I think it's not about focusing on what she did wrong. She's focusing on what she did right. And that's how you grow. Focus on what you did wrong all the time. But if you're not taking action, then just, I mean, what are you doing with yourself? And I feel like, you know, being here with me in this podcast studio, which shout out to AZ Pod Studio. They are so good. Like, they are so great to us. They really helped us so much. And I really thank them so much for being here. And there's a wonderful man behind the camera. Shout out to you, man. I'm really appreciated by everything, you know, for you being here, for, you know, this whole thing coming up together right now. If it wasn't for the studio, we would probably be recording in a box and SoundCloud. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching this. I know this is like, you know, everybody's been asking her, when is it coming out? When is it coming out? It's coming out. And it's coming out right. And we're going to make sure it's perfect. And we're going to make sure that she's comfortable with everything. And we're going to make sure that I'm comfortable with everything. And we're going to make sure I'm not black in these screens, or like it's black lighting or everything. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And Elizabeth, thank you so much. If there's one thing you can learn and give advice to somebody who's struggling with drug addiction, or just maybe stuck in, you know, feeling trapped in their lives, what would you give?
Honestly, I would just, like, if I could tell myself something, like if I had the me that was on drugs in front of me right now, I would just tell her that life gets better, you know, and to keep pushing. Life is going to get better, and there's more to come. And I think it's important to let people know that you have the power. Like, at the end of the day, it's all up to you, really.
It's all up to you. Thank you guys so much for watching the Real Ass Podcast on air. Be on the lookout for the next one. The next one is somebody else, and you guys have been dying to see her. Bye, guys. See you later. Thank you, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.